Hello everyone and welcome back. I hope you have gone through the video for finding the complementary function because that is the prerequisite for this video. Because in this video we are going to learn about particular integral for higher order. When phi x is sine of ax plus b, the rule is described like this. Here also we are having case of failure like in exponential function we had. Rather than explaining this rule here, I'll be explaining this with an example. It will be easier to understand. So let us go ahead with an example. Before I go for an example, I would like to bring you to the notice that whatever rule I have defined for sine, same rule goes with cos also. So even if my sine is replaced by cos, I'll be applying the rule same way. Let us have a look at example. My complementary function I have obtained. Both the functions are exponential function. So sine 2x is not appearing in the complementary function. This is what my observation is. Particular integral. The rule says 1 upon f of d square should be operated over sine 2x. And when we operate it, we should replace d square by minus a square. This d square has to be replaced by minus a square wherever possible. So in this expression, only this place is possible to substitute my minus a square. Remember, this number will be always a negative number because we are taking minus of a square here. So a is 2, that's why a square will be 4 and minus a square will be minus 4. So replace d square by minus 4 wherever possible. Doing so, what we are going to get? My f of minus 4 is 4d plus 1, which is definitely non-zero. By rule 2, line 1, because my f of minus a square is not equal to 0. I am not getting a case of failure. Particular integral therefore becomes 1 upon 4d plus 1 operated over sine 2x. Now, this 1 upon 4d plus 1 can be operated over sine. We need to do some adjustment here. We need to convert my denominator into expression which contains d square. So the best way would be multiply and divide by 4d minus 1. So if I do so, I'll be getting 4d minus 1 upon 16d square minus 1. So denominator is taken care now. I can again replace d square by minus a square and I can go ahead. Till we do that, we'll keep this operator 4d minus 1, which is normal operator, not an inverse operator, and will operate the denominator wala expression over sine 2x. Again applying rule 2 for sine 2x, replacing d square by minus 4, which we did earlier also. We are going to get minus 1 upon 65. Let us take this constant out. Or we can directly also apply 4d is operated over sine 2x minus 1 into sine 2x we are doing. So 4d is operated means what? We have to take the derivative of sine 2x here. So this is derivative of sine 2x we have taken because d is operated, and that's how I'll get my particular integral as this expression. Now this x into 1 upon 2d cos 2x can be simplified this way, that x by 2 integral cos 2x. Why I can do that? Because we can see d is replaced as d by dx. So 1 upon d will be d inverse, which can be written as integral, that is integral with respect to x. That's why whenever I have only d, 1 upon d, 1 upon d square, I can replace it with integration. Single d, single integration. If I have d square, 2 times integration. If I have d cube, it will be 3 times integration, and so on. So after integrating, I can get my particular integral like x by 4 sine 2x, and I can write my final solution, general solution, as c1 cos 2x plus c2 sine 2x plus x by 4 sine 2x. One more example. Here I have taken a little bigger expression, d cube minus 2d square plus 9d minus 18 operated over y equal to sin x into cos 2x. Now look at the RHS. We may have to simplify it. Let us find the complementary function first. I have 3 roots. One is real, 2 complex. So for real, I can write an exponential, and for complex, I can write cos and sine as a complementary function. When I operate my inverse operator over sin x into cos 2x, I cannot operate it directly. I have to simplify my sin x into cos 2x, which can be simplified using sin a cos b defactorization formula. So it gives me half into sin 3x minus sin x. Let us split our inverse operator on both the terms so that we can operate separately, because in both cases my value of a will be different. So I need to substitute different values. So let me call sin 3x as particular integral 1 and the expression of sin x as particular integral 2. We'll find them separately. F of d square I'm going to need, and f dash of d square also I'm going to need, because I can already see sin 3x appearing in the complementary function. So let us try to find those expressions. That's what. So we are going to get a case of failure. That's why we need to identify the things by comparing complementary function and RHS. When I solve my particular integral 1 for sin x, I am going to get a case of failure, I know. So x will be multiplied. F dash d square, if I find, I'm getting minus 4d minus 18 after simplification. I'll adjust it. I'll simplify it first. I'll take 2 common, 2d plus 9, and then this 2d plus 9 I can simplify by multiplying and dividing by 2d minus 9. And just like we worked in earlier example, we can work, and we'll get the particular integral first part as this bigger number, this expression. We can simplify it further. For sin x, I have a equal to 1 minus a square is minus 1. So particular integral 2 will give me f of d square. This d cube I can simplify as d into d square, because I have to replace d square wherever possible. In d cube also I can replace my d square. So let us take one d separate and replace d square by minus 1. And what I get is 8d minus 16. Again I'll work the same way, and I can get a particular integral part 2 here. Let us join both of them. Then I can have my general solution in front of me by writing complementary function plus particular integral 1 plus particular integral 2. Few exercises. Thank you.